Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock your city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best you're ever around.
Hey, this is Paul Martin
and Ray the Roadie
for the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. What's up, Ray?
Oh, just rocking and a rolling.
Yep.
That's right.
Me too.
Getting my 60s groove on.
You are.
Yeah. Listen to some Beatles and some Stones and some Who.
So you get tickets for Tommy James and the Shondells, huh?
I do. I'm going to see Tommy James and the Shondells. I think it's in October he's coming at the beautiful Rialto Theater in downtown Joliet, Illinois, just down the road a piece from our studio.
So you are getting your 60s groove on.
I am getting my 60s groove on, most definitely. Isn't that what you do when you get into the 60s?
I guess.
I would know because I'm still a youngin'.
Yeah, you weren't born in the 60s, were you?
No, I wasn't. No, I was not born in the 60s, no.
But you did grow up in the 60s.
Yeah, I did grow up in the 60s. You got me there. I did. I was a Ute. I was a Ute in the 60s.
And a young Ute.
Young Ute hanging out by the Peace Bridge in Marquette Park.
We talked about that once, didn't we?
We did.
Peace Bridge.
So what are you up to? What's floating your boat these days?
I'm under construction.
Are you really?
Yes.
You having surgery again or what?
No, not me. My house.
Okay. Not that different construction.
Right.
Hey, what you doing?
No, we're changing some stuff around. We're preparing for our senior year, so we don't have to go up and down the stairs. We're moving the laundry room to the first floor.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Maybe you should get one of those old time chairs that runs along the side of the stairway. You sit down and it takes you all the way.
That would be pretty cool, though.
It would be.
I was thinking about that. Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
But then carrying the laundry too while you're sitting in that chair might be a little bit tough.
Might be. You carry laundry?
Oh yeah.
Wow, you're quite the man. But then I carry laundry too, but I don't have anybody here to carry my laundry for me. So tried to get the dog to do it one time. It's all over the yard, everywhere.
Yeah.
My unmentionables and everything.
So who are we talking to today?
Today, joining us is Chicago's very own Phil Angotti.
Phil Angotti from Beatle Brothers fame,
Correct.
And from a few other bands, and from just his own solo career.
That's right. Quite an extensive solo career. And I believe he's got some news for everybody in this upcoming interview.
Well, let's listen and find out.
Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah. So welcome to the show, everyone. Today we're speaking with the guitarist extraordinaire, Phil Angotti. How you doing, Phil?
Hey, Phil.
Good to see you guys. Paul, Ray, how are you guys?
Good.
Wonderful.
Nice talking with you.
Yeah.
So tell us. Let's start out as a young Phil Angotti. When you first learned to play guitar.
Well,
first musical experience.
Well, it started off when I was 7. I asked Mom and Dad to get me a guitar, and I took lessons on the East Side at a little place called Stevens Academy of Music. And that's when I started. But like most little kids, I didn't stick with it like I should have practiced and, sit down and study. So it was a good introduction. I picked it up again in high school, and because I was just listening to all my favorite music, like a little sponge. So it all just kind of came back to me, whatever I learned when I was little, but then I kind of self-taught myself from there on it, and I just kept rolling.
I see. What was your first gig?
Oh, that's a great question. I did a graduation party for a friend in the neighborhood. We were in a garage in a driveway, and it was myself, Dennis, and Rob. We became a trio known as the Fleas. I was 17, 18, and that was our first professional gig. And then we played a couple little bars in the neighborhood. The first really good paying gig was a little bar on 95th Street called Godfathers on the East Side. So we kind of started playing gigs right after that party, and we actually had a bunch of gigs that summer.
Now, who was in that band with you?
Local guys, a friend of mine named Dennis Pizzuto, he played bass and sang harmonies with me. And my friend Rob Kutzer was the drummer. And I went to high school with Rob, and Rob soon, maybe left a year or so after, and he was replaced with another schoolmate of mine named Ron Jagelski. And that was the Fleas. And we stuck together for 2-3 years under that name.
Did you guys do any originals or was it all covers?
Yeah. It was mostly covers, but we did, Dennis and I had a bunch of songs we had written, and we were brave enough to try them on occasion. And it was a great experience because it was the first time getting out and playing in public. And of course, we did a lot of Beatles and Stones, early Stones and Who covers. That was our thing, and it was just a lot of fun. And all your friends would just come out, and you never had to worry about paying a roadie. Your friends would carry your stuff in to get into the club. And it was great times, really good times.
Don't get any ideas, Paul.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Paul. I'm sure Paul's never been through that.
So when did you link up with Jay Gepner and start playing?
That's good. The good link question. So after the Fleas disbanded, I met up actually first with my friend. I met Jay at Beatlefest a long time ago. I think I was in the Fleas and he was in a band called Feedback with his brother and some people. Well, in that band that Jay was in was a guy named Donnie V from Enough's Enough fame.
Right.
Donnie V and I met through Jay, and Donnie and I became real fast friends, and we both sang and wrote and played songs. So we started a band together. A lot of people, some people know that, some people don't. Anyway, we were a band called The Scuffle. And we were doing 60s covers. We did some contemporary things like Squeeze and Elvis Costello. And then Donnie and I started writing songs together. In fact, we did a couple in that band. And that band lasted for a couple of years. And then Donnie went off, started the band with Chip. And then I started a little bit of a solo thing. And I started a new band called The Idea a couple of years after that. In that interim there, Jay and I became friends. And then Jay started getting himself on the Jonathan Brandmeier show by calling in.
Right.
Next thing you know, he invited me because I played guitar and sang harmonies. And then we became the Beatle Brothers. It was just kind of really based out of the Johnny B show. And then we started playing all these gigs as a duo, and the rest was history. We played with you guys a bunch.
Yeah, you played. As you said, we played together quite a few times. Yes.
Yeah, we did a lot of summer festivals with you guys, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yes, it was.
Funny how things just come together like that from something.
Oh yeah, we always enjoyed
Johnny B.
We love playing with the Noodles. Great guys, great band. And Jay, it was easy. Jay and I got a lot of gigs like that where, because it was just the two of us, just acoustic guitar and me and him singing, and go up on stage and open. We didn't have to break down all this gear and everything. So bands kind of like that. Right. And then we would go and play shows. Like for the first few years, it was just Jay and I. It was just a duo. And then eventually we put a band around us too. But it was the early days it was just Jay and I. It was like Simon & Garfunkel, just one acoustic and two vocals. And a lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
It was a good time. So what happened after Beatle Brothers for you?
All those years during the Beatle Brothers, I was writing my own songs and putting out records, which is pretty hard to do in Chicago when the Beatle Brothers had a big name, and I was kind of competing against that. And I as seriously as I took it, it never really took off for me, unfortunately. I got some good reviews, put together some really good bands, but it was a struggle. It's really hard. It's a very hit and miss biz. And, I always thought the material was there, good poppy, catchy stuff, but I kept as busy as I could. It's just really hard to fight playing Beatle covers and getting paid and something like that. It's just so damn popular. It's pretty hard to compete with that with your own stuff. So I tried.
Did you ever play any stuff with Jay singing?
As far as
original stuff?
I actually put Jay in the band for a short time, and Jay and I are great friends. He's a great singer and everything, but they were all my songs. And so that didn't really work as well as I hoped. Right, so we just kind of kept together as we were, so that really never worked out. And then over the years, I just kept doing mostly just solo gigs, and which are fun too. This new project, which I'll talk about a little bit, it kind of came together because of just the boredom of COVID. And, I put together a solo record, and that was fun, but I really wanted to do something with a band. And this new record is. It's a band project, but they're all my songs.
Were you funding all this stuff years ago too? I mean, just putting it out yourself?
Basically, I was on a couple small labels. Yeah, Paul, I was on a couple small labels. Nothing big. The labels were helpful to a degree, but it's still all about distribution and having some money behind you and getting on the right tours would have been good. That was the one thing I just couldn't catch on. But it was mostly self-released with the help of a small label here and there.
And can we still get some of that stuff on Spotify or on iTunes?
Yeah, all my stuff's on Spotify. I have a website, www.philangottimusic.com, and the stuff's available. There's a couple of CDs that are out of print, and most of it's available though.
So now you've got a new project going on.
Yes, I do. There's the poster. It's called Once Around Again. There's a little coaster. A little coaster out of it record.
Oh, nice.
So quick story about it. I have a friend in LA, played with Brian Wilson band, J.K. Harrison. He produced it. A guy named Johnny Neiman did some mixing for us. I had it mastered here in Chicago. I did the record basically myself on vocals, my friend Blair Holmes on drums, backing vocals, and some Chicago artists like Casey McDonough, who played with me in the Beatle Brothers and has done a million projects with me. Casey's in NRBQ now, touring. Great musician. Brian Wilkie played pedal steel on 2 songs. And the really cool story about this is Spencer Gibb, who is the son of Robin Gibb of Bee Gees fame, actually did a string arrangement and production on one song and sang a little harmony with us. So that was really exciting.
That's cool.
That was really cool. Son of a Bee Gee.
Where did you record it?
The recording was done here in Chicago at my friend Blair's studio up on Ravenswood and Grace. And then the songs were flown out. You know how you can do tracks now, just send them out. Sure. And then my friend JK did all the mixing and producing in LA. We went out there Super Bowl weekend to mix the record, which, musicians don't really plan this stuff very well. Hey, when do you want to go to LA to mix your record? Oh, Super Bowl weekend. Yeah. The Rams are playing. Yeah. Good luck in a room or a car or anything, right?
Right.
So it added to the craziness, but it was fun. We got it done, and we're having a big release party next Thursday at Martyrs, and I've got a lot of some of the guys that were recorded on it are joining me, and we're going to do the whole record as it appears on the album with a few extra songs. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Is that open to the public?
It is. Yeah, there's still tickets available, and that's at Martyrs. Martyrs is on I forget the exact address, but it's on Lincoln Avenue. Really great club, and the show's going to start around 7:30, 8 o'clock, and yeah, it's going to be fun.
So you said this album came together during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So inspired you?
Yeah, basically, guys, as you know, it was just a pretty boring time. We didn't have any gigs. I was putting up songs on Facebook, like one at a time with my acoustic. Then I had enough songs to put out a solo record, which I did. It's called Still Life. I had so much stuff laying around. I started writing a few more songs, and I thought, this needs a full band arrangement. So Still Life came out, and then I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and record these songs. So it kind of 2 records came out at that time, and this one being the second one. So yeah, it was a good time to sit around and write.
Mm-hmm. Is it easy for you to write?
It always has been. I've always been pretty into it. I never have to force myself. We all go through dry spells, but since I was younger,
it's like a baseball player, just like a hitter, right?
Yeah,
it's like a baseball player. They go through dry spells.
Right? Sometimes it's just you're banging them out, and sometimes you're not. But yeah, that particular period, obviously, it was very. It was a good time to do it. But yeah, I've put out a lot of music. This record here, Once Around Again, will be the 14th full length record I've done over the years.
Wow.
The first one came out in '86. So I've been putting out a lot of music. So yeah, I'm proud of that. And I'm proud of the fact that I still find it fun to do. And I feel like it's just something I need to do,
What would you describe your music as?
It's pretty, I would say, though it has shades of folk in it sometimes, especially when I do the solo stuff, it's pretty power pop. Obvious. It's so obvious to say it's 60s influence, but a lot of guys would tell you that. a lot of comparisons from critics have been a little bit like if Squeeze met Cheap Trick meets the Byrds. It's got a little bit of there's always going to be an underlying kind of guitar styling. I'm very like, Rickenbacker-y, jangly pop kind of sound. That's just my sound. And I did deviate off of that a little bit in this record. Scott and JK played some guitar in it and did some things that I wouldn't have done, which is nice. It was refreshing to have another guitar player step in and do solos and do some parts that I wouldn't have thought of or played.
Are you, when you're writing, are you a lyrics music guy or a music lyrics guy? What comes first?
It's both. A lot of times the lyrics are first, titles come first, and I write around that. Like, for instance, there's a song in the album called Mystery Street.
All the neighbors are sitting and talking on their porches. Might as well be chasing monsters with the torches. Safe and secure in their old brick houses, acting so indifferent, saying nothing to their spouses. There's no one I care to meet. I just like it here on Mystery Street, and there's nothing ever on repeat. I'm a stranger here.
Mystery Street is a little studio on Lincoln, 3 blocks from my house, where we go and rehearse. They also have a little recording studio there. I was driving by one night and it was lit up. It was a really cool sign. It says Mystery Street. And I thought, that's a good title. Or one song in the album is called Shy Violet, which a local Chicago DJ, a friend of mine who lives down the street from me, her name's Terry Emmert. She was at just sat around talking to me one day, and she was telling a funny story how a listener called in asking for a song called Shy Violet by Eric Burdon. And she says, there's no such song. The listener was referring to Sky Pilot. So, I thought it was great because I'm like, that's such a great title, Shy Violet. So I just wrote it down. I just jotted it down. And then maybe a few months later, I came to that and for a title.
You say it rained again on your parade, but I think it's all a part of your own sad charade. You know that you just can't go on like nothing's wrong, and I just tried so long, for oh so long. You said you need to hide your love away, but that won't help you with the things you know you ought to say. You know that you just have to talk before I walk away from all that's true, and that means you. Tell me why, Shy Violet. You can cry, stay quiet. Just don't ask me to forgive the things you might have said to me.
Little things like that inspired me. Like there's a song in the album called Better Side. During the pandemic, a songwriter you guys may know Emmett Rhodes. He was in a band called the Merry-Go-Round. He made a couple of really great solo records in the 70s, but he was still obscure enough a lot of people don't know him. He had a song called Fresh as a Daisy. It was a big AM radio hit in the early 70s. So Emmett passed away during COVID, and I took some song titles and lyric things and put it together as like a little bit of song about him. So that's where some of the ideas were coming from. So I'd say in this album, a lot of the songs did start with lyrics first.
So have you been performing a lot? Now that the pandemic's kind of waning down, or? Yeah.
In fact, you guys had Lindsey Cochran on your show. I listened in. That was nice. Lindsey has great moments in vinyl, and I'm often a guest singer for that band. We just did a Rolling Stones show in Joliet a couple weeks ago. Or we did a show featuring the early Stones, which is cool because it's stuff that a lot of Stones bands don't cover, like doing things like, Lady Jane and Yesterday's Papers and then some hits too. But so I play with Lindsey with Great Moments in Vinyl. We're going to be back doing Tom Petty sometime in July. And then I play occasional solo gig. Beatle Brothers got together a couple weekends ago to do a tribute to our guitar player, Richie Geis, who had sadly passed away during COVID 2020. So I've been busy gigging. So that's good.
Yeah, I saw you guys at the City Winery.
Oh, yeah. And I do a Beatle brunch at City Winery. Thank you. That's once a month. I host it. It's a band that I usually put together. We're doing one this Sunday, in fact. And then we do different themes, so the show's never the same. Like we did a Paul McCartney solo show a couple months ago. We did Harrison on his birthday. This Sunday, we're doing Beatle love songs, like the Brown album that came out. And I think that was, I don't know, was that the late 70s maybe? So, yeah, it's always a different theme. And then in June, we're going to do a Sgt. Pepper gig. So that'll be fun.
Playing music that they never played live before.
Well, that's the thing about that. Yeah, that you have to bring some string players. And yeah, that one's going to be tricky. We're like this Sunday, we can just do like 4-piece, 2 guitars, bass, and, we all sing. But Pepper will be a little tricky. I have to think about how I approach some of that. I don't have a band of Indian musicians to come to do George's song. Like we'll have to figure out how to do that.
Right.
So, any ideas, Paul?
No, not offhand. I'm sure you'll come up with something though.
I'll figure something.
So I know Lindsay is a great storyteller as well.
Yeah, it's really cool concept, like how he does the shows. I really like it. It's really interesting. And when I first joined the band, I wasn't sure how that will work. It also gives you time as a musician to kind of set. You could tune, you could switch instruments, because we really I'm a stickler about bringing the right guitars for the shows. But Lindsay's storytelling, he's just got a great voice for it, and he makes it interesting. He's done a great job with it. I really like doing those shows with him. They're a lot of fun.
Now, Ray, you saw the Stones tribute that they did, right?
The early Stones at City Winery.
Oh, were you there? That's right. I talked to you. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sitting right next to you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We did a similar show at Joliet. The only difference was Casey McDonough filled in for Richard, couldn't make it. And on keyboards, we had our friend Greg Woods played instead of Debbie. Debbie was wonderful. She was great too. So that's what's good about the band. There's some moving pieces, and we always get people that seem to fill the gap really well. So yeah, that's right. I did talk to you after the show.
Yeah, it was extraordinary. I mean, between every song, he tells that story. I mean, you learn stuff you never knew, Yeah,
I think he does a great job with it. And thanks again thanks for coming. That was good. It was fun.
Definitely see you guys again. That's a lot of fun.
Oh, good. It's a great venue to watch music. People sit and listen to you, as opposed to a bar where they're chatting away, which that's part of it, But my mom likes to come. My mom is coming Sunday. She says, "It's just so nice to see you where people are just being quiet and listening, Phil." I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, it is nice."
Yeah, yes.
Nobody's yelling. No one's yelling "Freebird."
Right. Well, if they see the show, you probably just planted the seed, but that's all right. Well, we'll think of Kevin Matthews when he started that.
Yes, he did. So, and this album, are you on a label, or are you funding this album?
So far we're not. We're talking to a couple different labels as hopefully to jump on it. So for the show, we just made a small run just so we have them for our friends and people that come to the gig. And the social media thing now is like Disc Makers, for instance, will make you a small run of CDs, and they do a little digital package where they'll put all your stuff on Bandcamp and Spotify and CD Baby. So that's pretty nice that you could do it that way. If we're lucky enough to get somebody along that wants to put it out, they can just grab it and relabel it, and hopefully that would be great if that happens. If it doesn't, we still have it out, and that's the main thing. That's what we're doing it for. So
has it been released yet?
No, Paul, I'm waiting for the disc as we speak. UPS says today. So no, we'll have them. We'll have them at the show Thursday, and that'll be the first day, and then it'll be available online.
I see.
And
I'll send you guys one.
That's it'll be released on Thursday to like Spotify and.
Yes, yeah, we're supposed to do a joint. Yeah, they do it that way where they ask you, "Hey, when is your local release?" And then they kind of coincide with the date. So that's what's going to happen. So it'll drop Thursday, as they say, drop into business.
Yeah, it drops right.
It just sounds cool, right?
Yes. So you said you like use the right guitar for the right sound. First of all, you used to have a shop, didn't you? There in East Side.
Yeah. So I had a little guitar store because I worked at Chicago Music Exchange for many years, and that was a great vintage shop. They still are around, new owner. I learned a lot and traded a lot and bought a lot of vintage guitars. So I opened a shop called Avenue N Guitars with two partners, and that was in Wicker Park. We were there for 13 years. We shut her down in end of 2019. Good timing. Yeah. And I kept a lot of stuff. I have a lot of guitars, but like when I play Tom Petty show, I'm going to bring a Rick 12 and a Rick 6 and a Strat. And if I play Stones, I had, I think at that show I had my Telly, had a Guild 12 string for the, 12 string songs like As Tears Go By. So, and I try to bring, and for the Beatles, I've always had the Beatle guitars, the little Rickenbacker and the 12 string and the Casino. And I'm it's fun. I collect them and I want to use them. So I do use different guitars for different shows. I have a Jazzmaster for Elvis Costello.
Nice.
You never have enough guitars. You guys know that.
Right.
No such thing. No such animal.
No.
So tell us about your shop that you had there.
Sorry, Paul?
About the shop you had on the east side.
Oh, so the shop I actually owned was in Wicker Park. I never actually had my own store on the east side, but though I lived there for a long time. I looked into it.
I thought you had a store on the east side.
No, I never did. There was a shop in Whiting that I was considering taking that place, but it didn't seem like the right spot. The place in Wicker Park was really neat because we designed it to look really old school. You walked in and we had a lot of posters from the old days. I had a big cabinet in front where I displayed old 45s and little trinkets, old boxes of strings from the 50s, old sheet music. I would feature a couple of vintage guitars in there because they'd stand up in there. Like little, we had the Beatle dowels in there from the 60s, the Remco ones, all kinds of really cool stuff. So people came in, it was a visually, it was a really nice looking shop. The front windows, I dressed them up to look like a shop. I made it look like, if you look at the windows of Hesse's music shop in Liverpool, I had pictures of that and it kind of looked like that. And, I was kind of proud of the way it looked. It didn't look like Guitar Center. It didn't look like a regular. It looked like a really cool old mom and pop store that you'd see in the 60s, But and we had a nice run, 13 years. But competing with online sales today is really tough,
Right.
Really tough.
I don't know about buying a guitar online anymore. I mean, just you got to play it. You got to have a feel for it.
You would think so. I was a little surprised that more people weren't doing that. A lot of times they'd come in and just shop and see what we had. And they go, well, we can get it online cheaper. And like, roll your eyes and go, yeah, it was pretty hard to, keep up with that thought. But that's what happened. Again, we had a good little run and it was a fun experience. Right. But to win out there, now it's a dog shop.
Nice.
High-end pet treats and grooming.
Nice.
And you got a lot of guitars out of it.
I kept a few. Yeah, I've got enough guitars to keep me happy for a while. I mean, you can only play so many, right, Paul? But it's a good hobby.
Time, right?
It's
play one at a time.
Right, but as far as collecting goes, if you have good stuff, it'll always keep its value.
Oh yeah. So absolutely.
One day when I'm sick of playing or don't need them all, I could sell them or pass them on to the kids. Hopefully. Right. They'll keep them for me for a while, but in the meantime, it's just an enjoyable hobby. And I do use them. So why not? Why not have them?
Go ahead, Ray.
I was going to say, so out of all, you said this is your 14th album coming out?
Yeah.
So out of all your 14, got a favorite song?
That's a good question. Yeah, there's a song called Too Late Tomorrow that came out on an album called Flower Bomb a long time ago. I think that was 2001. And I re-recorded it a few years ago. And it's one of those songs that I never felt like I ever got it just right. I may give it another crack. But it's a good tune. I play it live. I can tell people like it. We're going to do it at the show, even though it's not on a new album. You could tell which ones are fan favorites just by the reaction. But yeah, I just thought it was a really strong song, musically and lyrically. So that'd be my favorite, I'd say. There's one on a new album I like too.
Well, of course. Yeah, especially the new albums. Yeah. But yeah, I always think that people they do have favorites, but a lot of times they don't want to talk about it. Oh no, I like all my music. They usually say.
Yeah, no, you won't get that from me. I'll go back and look, and even if I think some of the songs were good or well written, there's always songs I not cringe, but go back and go, I didn't record that right, or I should have taken more time with that. Or you know how it is when you're mixing too. It's like you're never satisfied. You have to finally just kind of say, okay, we're done. Mm-hmm. But this one, I could say that I'm really pleased with the mixes and the production, and the main reason is I was a little hands off of that part. Like I did the writing, I sang, I played guitar in it, but I really let JK produce and really let him do it. Like, and I think that was important. It also makes the record sound different, so it won't be like the same old thing for me, you know. Which was the joke about the title too. Once around again, like here we go again. but no, I think that people that know me and heard my songs over the years will find it refreshing because, again, having a different producer and a different set of ears on it was really, for me, that's what made it for me.
Yeah, I know when you're sitting there and you're listening back as to something, you want to add parts and you want to take away parts and sometimes you need an extra ear to go no, leave it like that or yes, I agree, add something here or something. Oh,
absolutely, yeah, and especially when you're working with a guy with this kind of experience in a studio and he's worked with some great people. It was really good getting his advice and getting his take on it. Cause like, you know, after a while I was just kind of like, you know, I didn't push back as much as I normally would. I really let him go with it. Cause he said, well, you want me to produce this? Let me produce it, Phil. You know, I know you're used to doing it your way. And I was like, yeah, I put myself in that mindset from the beginning. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to really let him do it. And I'm really glad I did. Mm-hmm. So it worked out.
Yeah, because that mix you got today that you say is perfect. Tomorrow when you come back in and turn it on, you say, oh, no, it's not right.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was doing that with the mastering. He sent it to, there's a local guy named Blaze Barton. He works at Joyride. He's so good at mastering. And he did my last couple of projects and I listened to it and I was like, oh, these are great. And JK had sent him one song in particular. I sent you guys a song called Shy Violet. Scott was real particular on that one. He made him remaster it like 2 or 3 times. There's something in it he was hearing that wasn't working, and so he was really meticulous about, you know, getting the sounds just right. And I appreciated that, but I couldn't hear what he was talking about, so I just trusted him on it. But yeah, it came out nice. So that's all that matters. The end product came out nicely. So I'm excited for people to hear it. So
it's coming out on Thursday the 26th at Martyrs.
Yep.
And will you be touring or playing other places?
We'll probably go. We'll definitely do a show in LA because that's where he is. We'd probably like to do some Midwest shows. I would like to get that going. It would be beneficial to line it up with a good band that we could, you know, join a tour. Because when you're going out of town and you're not that well known out of town, you don't want to go and play empty rooms. I'd rather open for somebody that has a crowd. And that's how you make a new audience and bring a record and play a good show somewhere. And that's the same for other bands when they come here. You know, it's you got to kind of line it up correctly, or just to do it. You know, you can go on the road and get frustrated, or, you know, you want to play to some people to hear the song. So hopefully we can get something lined up, you know, nice. We'll see.
And where would we find, if you were doing shows, where would we find out more information about you? Facebook or
we could, Paul, Facebook is good because I do post stuff regularly. But yeah, the website, once again, it's just my name. Remember, philangottimusic.com. We have a nice website there. My friend Annette helps me with it. Thank God. We put up merch there, some info for shows, and she keeps it up pretty well for me. So I'm not too good at that stuff. So I have help there.
It's the same Phil Angotti at Facebook.
Yep, same guy. There's only one, thank God.
Well, good luck with that CD or the album. I'm sorry, their albums.
You can call it CD. We're going to press vinyl, but you probably heard the story with vinyl is you got to wait so long.
Yeah.
So we'll come out with a vinyl release. We're in line, but we just wanted to get it out. You know, there's just a time to do it when it's finished and you're done. You know, so yeah, the CD will be out, and yeah, guys, I'm pumped, and I'll make sure I send one your way.
Sounds good to me.
Right. Sounds great.
All right. Thanks for joining us today, Phil.
Hey, thank you for having me, guys. Paul, great to see you again.
Let's see you.
I'll see you guys soon, I hope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
So that was Phil Angotti. I didn't know Phil had 14 albums.
14. Amazing.
Yes, it is.
That's quite a career.
Yes, he's got a whole page on Spotify. I guess you can listen to his music all day long.
That's pretty cool. That is very cool. Not a lot of people can say that.
No,
He's got a great new CD coming up too.
Yes, he does.
This Thursday, May 26th, at Martyrs are releasing his new music.
We'll be doing a live show there.
That's right. Doing the whole album. They're doing the whole album front to back.
Yeah, and some old stuff too, I guess.
Yeah, and if you're a Phil fan, you're probably going to really like this new album because this is the first one he hasn't mixed himself. He had a producer do it for him, so it should be interesting.
Right.
You get a whole new sound. And if you've never heard of Phil, I definitely recommend you check him out and check out his music.
Right. Phil's a good guy. Like I said, I've worked with him many times in the past, and he's a good dude, a good guitar player, great musician too.
Yes, he is. So, and he's also playing with Lindsey Cochran.
Right.
He's doing the Great Moments in Vinyl with him, and that's a pretty cool gig. I mean, I'm sure you folks have heard our past episode with Lindsey on Great Moments in Vinyl, and I recommend you definitely go out and see them too. That's very, very entertaining.
And if you haven't, check it out. And you can also, Phil Angotti's name was also mentioned in Jake Eppner's episode.
That's right.
So you can always go back and listen to Jake Eppner's episode.
After you finished listening to all our podcasts, because you have to listen to all ours first, make sure you check out our buddy Jeff Sismelik. He's got a podcast called My 3 Songs. He invites friends over and they discuss their 3 favorite songs. It's a pretty great podcast. Give that a listen.
All righty, we will.
And as usual, coming to you from the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66 in beautiful downtown Joliet from our state-of-the-art studio. Make sure you become a charter member. The museum's going to be opening soon. Don't know exactly when, but it's getting really close.
June 5th, they're having their second year inductions at the Rialto Square Theater.
That's right. Second round of Hall of Fame inductions. Some great names being inducted.
So be sure and check that out.
Definitely. There might still be tickets left. I'm not sure. Last year it sold out. So check that out. Check us out. And I think it's about time we check out.
Okay. Check it out.
All righty. See you next week.
Over and out, Roger.
Over at 10-4, good buddy.
Ray the roadie.
That's right.
All right. Have a good day. Thanks
Have
for
a good
listening.
one. See you guys next week.
Thanks for listening. The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music that's played on this podcast.
The music is used to promote the band or musicians that are interviewed.
Rock and roll Chicago.